Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you found your way here. This is the very first episode of Read. And if you're listening to this, stepped into a space where time moves a little. I wanted to create a corner of the internet that feels like a sanctuary, a place where we can escape the noise of the world and just get lost in a story. I've spent a lot of time thinking about where we should begin this journey. If we're going to read together, I wanted our first step to be something monumental, something that isn't just a book, but a universe. And that is why we are going to be reading the Mahabharata. For those of us who grew up in India, the Mahabharata isn't just literature, it's part of our DNA. If you close your eyes for a moment, you can probably smell the incense in your grandparents' home or hear the specific tone of your mother's voice as she would tell you about the five brothers or the cousin who chose the wrong side. Most Hindu kids grow up on these stories. They are our bedtime favorites. We sat at the feet of our elders during summer vacations, wide-eyed as they described the grandeur of Hastinapur. And then there was the television. I remember how the streets would go silent on Sunday mornings for the vintage B.R. Chopra serial. That version, with its theatrical dialogue, defined the epic for an entire generation. Then, years later, we saw the modern retellings, the high definition CGI, the cinematic scores, bringing the scale of the Kurukshetra war to life for a new age. We've seen the plays, we've read the books, but there is a difference between knowing the summary and actually living inside the details. The Mahabharata has always fascinated me, not just because of the scales of the battles, but because of how human it is. It is often said about this epic, whatever is here may be found elsewhere, but what is not here is nowhere else. Every human emotion, greed, sacrifice, jealousy, profound love, and crippling doubt. It's all there. I've reached a point where I don't want the highlights. I want to get into the fine details because I believe these ancient verses hold mirrors to our modern lives. I want this story to teach me things about dharma, about karma, about choices, and about the complexities of being alive. To do this right, I've chosen a very specific guide for us, the translation by Bibek Debroy. He's a fascinating man to lead us through this. By profession, he's a brilliant economist, a research professor at the Center of Policy Research, and a contributing editor for the Indian Express Group. He's worked in universities, industries, and for the government. But what makes this work on the Mahabharata so special is his deep rooted passion for Indology. He isn't just an economist, he's a scholar who has translated the Vedas, the Puranas, the Upanishads, and the Gita. He even wrote a beautiful book called Sarama and Her Children, which splices his interest in Hinduism with his incredible love for dogs, exploring the role of the dog in Indian myth. Bibek Debroy has dedicated years to translating the unabridged critical edition of the Mahabharata. This is not a condensed version, it is the full, raw, and detailed journey. Having someone with his analytical background and spiritual curiosity translates into a text that is clear, scholarly, and deeply moving. Now, here's my invitation to you. Get your own copy. I want this to be a shared experience. I want you to feel the weight of the book in your hands. If you have the Bibek Debroy volumes, you can cruise along with me, page by page. You can highlight the parts that strike you or linger on a footnote while I read. Having the physical book makes this a dialogue. It turns this podcast into a journey we are taking side by side. Go out and find your copy so you're ready when we turn the first page. In the next episode, we begin at the very beginning, the Adi Parva. There's no rush here. We are not trying to finish quickly. We're trying to understand deeply. So find your copy of Debroy's translation, find your favorite chair, pour yourself a cup of tea or coffee. And thank you for choosing to spend your time with me. I cannot wait to start this journey with you. I am your host, and this is Read With Me. I'll see you at chapter 1.